Hi, I'm Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio, and today I'm going to start a new project. I have a block here from a Block of the Month club that was put out by Moda several years ago, and I did this top in two different colorways. I did it in this one, which was the traditional, and then there's a second one that was called Brights, and they were bright colors on a black background. And I'm going to do some design work on the traditional blocks because they're going to be easier to see with the marker that I'm using. Now I'm going to have to put this top together, and once I do, then I'll work on the background pieces. I'm going to kind of ignore those for now and just concentrate on the piecing in this block, the main parts of this block. This first block is a Missouri Star, and it has a lot of piecing in it. We have lots of triangles. The star points are pieced, and the center is pieced, as well as the outside. This is like a square and a square, only the center square is pieced. So this gives us some good guidelines to follow. And the first thing I wanted to try was some line dancing. So let's just do some let's do some continuous curve first, and I've done this on several of the quilts in the past. And we get to this point, and then let's just go on out to here and do the square 2, and then we can go to the star points and do the same thing. And as you can see, this goes real quickly around the quilt, so that you can get the quilting done really fast. And there you have your design. You can do this all without stopping and starting. You can do it all in one pass. Okay, for the next one, let's do the line dancing. And I'm going to just put a loop in the center, and then come out here, and then I'm going to do some continuous curve again, and then continuous curve on the outside. Now these are all designs that you can mix and match. You could do the loop, this loop anywhere in this. You could continue this out to the other points if you wanted to. There's no reason why it just has to be in the center. But this is just one way to do it. Let's do a spin feather. Those always go pretty fast and add a little elegance to a quilt. And with this being traditional in the fabrics, this will give it a traditional look also in the quilting. And then for this part here, let's do a swirl. In this round, and then up here, let's do a feather. And I'm going to have these feathers all pointing towards the right angle of the piece. That way they will all be flowing in the same direction, and that helps give me a point to aim at so that I don't get some of these going in a different direction. So these are all going to be flowing towards the right angle, so that would be the center of the corner block, the corner piece there. And this looks like a lot of feathers, but actually it will go pretty fast. And you can travel in the ditch. You can go around the outside, or you can go on the inside. That's not going to matter a whole lot. And you can make these feathers as large or as small as you want. These are kind of a moderate size. They're not too large, they're not really small, but you can make them very tiny, and you can make them larger if you wanted to. And there we go, a completed block. Now each block in this is different, of course, since it's a block of the month, but the fabrics are all going to coordinate. And so to get some unity in the quilt, the quilting within each block will be similar at some point. They won't be exactly the same, but there will be something to unify the quilting in there. Okay, let's just do some straight line work. We're going to do some outlining. And just follow the ditch along to get me to the next piece. And then when we come to this point, I could go back in and actually put in another line of quilting if I wanted. And wouldn't have to go around twice. You could do this all at the same time. And let's come out here, and if I do it all at the same time, this is what I mean. Just do both lines all at once within the square. And then come on out and then do the next one. Ditch over. And ideally you would want these lines to meet up. So this would look like a square. Which I got that one in the wrong place, so it would come out here. And I'm seeing some reflection on my plastic, so it's a little bit hard to find where I need to go. But it looks like it's doing okay on the screen, so I'll just keep going. And I could ditch in here, but I think I would probably ditch around this direction for this piece. And then we have double squares in here. And then for the outside, I could also do just some straight line quilting. This is kind of an alternative to stitching in the ditch. When I was first quilting on a machine 16 years ago now, stitch in the ditch was really popular, and the customers would come and say, just stitch in the ditch. And what they wanted was every piece stitched in the ditch in the block. And that would mean just stitching in each single one of these like this. And stitch in the ditch is time consuming if you want to keep that stitching right in the ditch. It took a lot of time, and there was a lot of ripping out to keep it that way. So that wasn't one of my favorite ways to quilt blocks. But here we go. This is all straight line work in here, and that's what that would look like. So we're going to do some more straight line work, but just a little bit of a different idea. Since we have a square and a square here, I think I'm going to just kind of follow that concept, and I'm going to find the center point in these pieces here, and I'm going to stitch that out like this and stitch over, and my next points will be where the seams are, so those are already there, so I don't have to mark those. And then just stitch here. And now to get to this round, I'm just going to stitch up that ditch and then come over here. And what I want to do is I'm going to come up to this point, quilt here, here, and then like that. And then ditch over and do the same here. And then we can ditch around this way. And ditch over this way. And I'm meeting up the points of that square and a square that I quilted in there. And there we have that design. And if you don't like the open space here, you could do some additional quilting. And what I would probably do, I would stitch in the ditch here. I don't think I would add any more quilting in this area, but I would kind of tack this part down like that. And I think that would hold the piecing down well enough, and you'd have a nice look that way. Okay, let's try something like this. This is more of a modern look. I don't think you'll see this on an old quilt anywhere, but this is kind of fun. Reminds me of ribbon candy, only it's more straight lines, and you can make these small and you can make them large. Just a back and forth matchstick type quilting. Have that all tacked down, and then come out here. Let's do more continuous curve out here. Kind of give it a break up from this kind of design, and then come out here. And let's do, there we go. Do the loops and the points. Now if you try this on the quilt, try quilting this in before you practice it on plastic or on paper. You may do just fine, and then again it may have you ripping out stitching, so it's kind of how confident you are in trying a new design. Or if this is something you're comfortable with, then you probably won't have any problem with it. And one more point. There we go. Now with these points having different fabrics in here, you can treat each one of these separately. You don't have to treat them as one like I have been doing here. If you wanted to do continuous curve, you could do this design in it and come on down. And let's see. This might take a little practice to figure out how to get all the way around this, and I think you'd have to go through the outside first. We're going to try on the outside, and then we'll quilt the inside here. Okay, here we go. Then we'll do the inside. You could do it on this piece, or you could do it over here, whatever you want to do. So these two I've done. Let's do it on the outside. On these two, let's try on the inside. And you have those two different looks. Very similar, just a little bit different. And then you could carry on with something different in here. We wanted to do more continuous curve. You can always double it up. And then for the inside, this has a paisley design in it. You could do some type of paisley in here, or you could do a big flower. You could do crosshatch, and then you could do the square and the square. There's lots of different things you could do, and I'm going to go through here and just show you a couple of different design ideas. for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links. And to keep up with my newest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.